Hello everyone, I'm Sonntag, and Doom Eternal is insane. This game is ridiculous, it's off the map, it's lost control, it's out in orbit and has not talked to planet Earth for a while, and it's starting to lose its place in reality. I love it, but this might be a little too much. It might have finally gone that insane where people may not just be able to grasp it anymore. It is, damn, this is one just big honkin' video game, and I'm really excited about that. And they really just abandoned any kind of restraint. It's all out the window. Any taking it easy, any slowing things down, any reeling things in, it's all gone. The result is that Doom Eternal is a lot. It's a lot. It's a big, just honking chunk of video game. That might be too much chunk for people. I don't know. It may be too much for you. It may not be, depending on what you want or what you're looking for, but that's the point of a review. So let's find out. First, real quick history lesson. Doom is a game from 1993. It's a first-person shooter where you shoot demons with a shotgun. It's really popular. It's awesome. Doom is also a game that came out in 2016 where you shoot demons with a shotgun. It was also awesome. Doom Eternal is the sequel to 2016's Doom. It's not called Doom 2 because that game came out in 1994. There we go. Okay, and that's pretty much all you need to get started. There is more to the game story, but we'll get to that later. First, the most important thing about Doom, the shooting. Here's a shotgun, go have fun. So the game's combat system is awesome. I really enjoy it, and I super respect it, but oh my god, is it a lot to take in. Real quick, I should establish my experience with the game, so at least people know where I'm coming from when I say it's a lot. I really liked Doom 2016. In fact, I beat it on the hardest difficulty without dying. I had to cheese the bosses, gotta disclaim that. Can't be fake gamer boy up in here. Still, the point is I played it a lot, and I'd like to say I was pretty good at it. That said, Doom Eternal is so much harder. It's just way harder to play, and not in a bad way. Nearly all the game's combat systems have been tweaked to really open up the skill cap of the game, to give you more options and how to express yourself in the way you want to play. It's really cool, but it is very complicated, so let's start ticking through all the little mechanics that are all working together. First of all, the game's speed. Everything is just generally faster right now. And on top of that, the AI will cut you off. So in Doom 2016, if you were pretty much running in a straight line and changed directions or changed platforms every so often, demons couldn't really catch up to you. It's just if you stopped that you'd be in trouble. That's not the case now. Demons will not only catch up to you if you're just running in a straight line, but they will circle around arenas to cut you off in the direction you're going. So you can never really just run a loop through or around an arena. The AI won't let you. Doom 2016 got kind of comfy after a while. As long as you were moving at a full clip and shooting demons as you went, you were pretty much safe. That is not the case in Eternal. They will catch you and they will swat you and then they will kill you. Good lord. However, that seems like it's the whole point because now you have more recovery options too. So it seems like the game is designed that the AI will take nicks at you and then you'll recover that back as long as you're playing smart. And to do that, they completely ran with the glory kill mechanic from Doom 2016. So in that game, you could perform glory kills on demons that were close to death. Not only would you just squish a demon's head like a grape, but it also allowed you to recover health through offense because glory kills would drop health. It was a great mechanic. Doom Eternal extends that philosophy to basically all the game's resources. The glory kill mechanic is still there in pretty much the same way, but now you also have a shoulder-mounted flamethrower that operates on a cooldown called the Flame Belch. Yeah, this game just doesn't care. Basically, it sets enemies on fire, and then when they're on fire, they'll drop armor when they're hurt or killed. So then you can recover armor. And then any enemies killed by the chainsaw recover ammo. Your chainsaw also regenerates 1 ammo on cooldown. So basically you have the ability to get ammo, armor, or health in different ways from different enemies. Okay, we got that. Now we mix in the way that Doom Eternal's arena fights work. Arena fights in this game typically have infinitely spawning fodder enemies. Those are the imps, the zombies, marines, possessed dudes, just, the little demon mans. They'll shoot at you sometimes, they'll block your path, they'll swat at you if you get close to them. But basically they're just there for you to siphon armor, health, and ammunition out of. To actually move through the waves of enemy spawns and progress through fights, you have to kill the bigger demons that are mixed in with all the tiny guys. These are, some of the golden oldies, from previous Doom games, the Mancubus, the Cacodemon, the Hell Knight. So these are the guys that have more health and different attack patterns, but they also have explicit and implicit weaknesses to various guns and abilities. And this is where the complexity of the game starts to go off the charts. So, for example, if you have the grenade launcher mod on the shotgun, mods are basically like alternate fire for the gun, but you can pick one of two at any given time. You can pop a nade right into Cacodemon's mouth and stun it instantly. Or if you use the scoped attachment for the heavy assault rifle, you can snipe the cannon off the back of little mech spider dudes or the revenants and stuff like that. So essentially you can take enemies out very quickly or nullify some of their attacks with skill shots or by using the right weaponry. So when you combine the specified offense of like this gun is good against this monster, plus the way to recover different kinds of resources, am I low on ammo, am I low on health, okay, how do I get that back? Once you smash all that together, plus all the different kinds of demons they throw at you all in a pack and how they operate together, then suddenly you start to form this really complicated cloud of decisions at a really fast pace. Not only in combat do you have to be evaluating all these decisions of like, do I need health? Do I need armor? What demon am I going to go after? How am I going to get there? Who's in the way? Should I go around this way? Should I go around that? There's all of that. On top of that, you have to be landing your shots the whole time. And since you have to kill the medium to big sized boys, you really can't just run around the corners and pick off easy targets. After a while in Doom 2016, that's what I found out, is that on Nightmare, as long as you stick to the periphery and just kind of get whoever's chasing you, you can whittle down the numbers. But in this game, when the big guys are staying inside and the minions are all to the outside, you have to push in to take out your targets. It really doesn't let you get comfortable, and it forces you to stay in the mix, always mixing it up. It's really cool, and that means you pretty much have to be on your game all the time. And that's why Doom Eternal's combat is such a cool evolution over Doom 2016. It's faster, you have more and important decisions to make, and most of the guns do something. Like I found myself rotating through the entire catalog of weaponry, whereas in Doom 2016 you can pretty much get by with 3 or 4. It feels awesome, but it is a lot to learn. And I didn't even talk about all the mechanics, and that was already a lot. For example, there's the blood punch, which you kind of have to say it that way, the blood punch. For real, you get a punch, like a melee punch that's so righteous it makes a chorus of monks chant. The blood punch is actually pretty important, and it has its own thing going on too. There's also items. There's frag grenades and freeze grenades, and they each have their own cooldown, so if you rotate between them, you'll get to use them more often. I don't need to cover every last detail because it would probably take a long time, and you may not need that much information. Point is, there's a lot of video game in Doom Eternal, and some people may just want to saw a demon in half with a double-barreled shotgun. Luckily for you, the campaign is a great ride, even if you don't care about interleaving gameplay mechanics and the pace of AI or whatever. It is a fun ride if you just play it on a normal difficulty. Like pretty explicitly actually, the game even tells you after you die a lot that you can turn on cheat codes and still progress. So please don't let me freak you out by talking about how complicated and difficult the game can be. They give you tools to just sit down and have a good time with it if that's not what you're into. It happens to be what I'm into, and that's why I talked about it so much. If that's what you're into as well, then I can promise you the game's for you. But if you don't really care about that and you just want a good, dumb, fun time, then hopefully the rest of this review will cover the things you might care about. Listen, I know I said this before, but even if you just want to approach Doom Eternal as a big, stupid ride where you just kill a lot of demons, it's still super video gamey, and that's a weird term. You'll know what I mean as soon as you look at it, right? It's not shy about being a big video game, mass video game. Noises are big and prominent, the power-ups are bright. Hell, the health are in tiny little corked beakers on the ground. There's no lore for that. It's a video game, and that's what health looks like. That's just what you're gonna have to kind of get used to in Doom Eternal. I have my suspicions, though. I suspect that with combat moving even faster and more hectic, the designers probably found they had to be more bold with their colors and their shapes to make sure that players could see clearly what ammo and health pickups looked like, because that gets very important when you're about to die. And I can attest, the game is functional at high speed. You do get the visual and audio data you need to make the decisions you need to make at the pace you do. So I think it was the right choice, even if it does look super video gamey. And there's been a big trend away from that in game development. So because of that, I can see the video gaminess grating on some people. You know, we've had so many games that opt for total photorealism that a game that doesn't really bother with that and is okay with big arcadey video game power-ups, it might seem a little anachronistic. I could see people being mad at the brightness and the colorfulness and almost the cartooniness of some aspects of the game. Like it's not very dark and gritty, right? I don't know. If that's your preference, I can see that. It almost reminds me a little bit of Diablo 3, how that game was still pretty metal, but people were mad it wasn't bleak. I think that's going to be the case with Eternal. It's pretty colorful, but it's still very metal. And that video gaminess applies to the general level architecture too. The environments just kind of look boxy, which, I don't know, after like 10 minutes in Doom Eternal, you know the game's not trying to pretend to be the real world. It's not recreating environments from The Last of Us, so it doesn't really matter. I think the game is consistent in its video gaminess, which is a weird thing to say, but just watching the footage, you can probably tell. Luckily, as far as the campaign is concerned, there's way more environment variety. You know, in Doom 2016, you basically had UAC Corporation Hell, UAC again Hell, and then cold UAC, and then the game ended. You're going all over the place in Doom Eternal. You've got Hell on Earth, Hell in hell. Okay, yeah, Earth and hell. You've got other dimensional kingdoms that have long since fallen, space stations that are just half destroyed and floating in orbit, and nearly every other stage you're going to a new place, which really does address maybe one of the weaker parts of Doom 2016, the campaign variety. And the game just looks really incredible, and it runs super well too. I don't really need to describe the visuals too much since you can see them with your eyes, so continue to do so. Thank you. There's generally less downtime in the levels too. 2016 would have long hallways with a couple of enemies, kind of like your lulls, and then have these huge arena fights around gore nests. It was a good flow back in 2016. In Doom Eternal, those like hallways that would have separated arenas are now a lot of platforming sequences. So there are walls that you can stick to and climb, and then jump and swing across bars and stuff like that. And that's kind of a roller coaster feel if you can handle platforming in 3D. And there's kind of a cool design aspect here too, since a lot of the platforming is around swinging off of bars that are directly in front of you, or sticking to walls that you can dash into. It kind of makes the platforming more about what's in front of you and not what you're landing on, which hopefully will address a lot of the problems that people have with 3D platforming. It's actually really cool design, and I had fun with those sections. That said, the sections are still hard. They make you hit specific dashes and hit specific jumps. So if you've had issues with platforming in FPS games in the past, that may be a real bad sticking point for you. Luckily, falling off the map doesn't kill you instantly anymore. You just get a little ding of health. So I never died because I was missing jumps. I lost some health, but it seems like that's how it's supposed to be. That said, I do recognize that a lot of the jumps are pretty hard, and I know some people really have a problem with that. So if you're one of those people, something to consider. There is some platforming in this game, and they make it pretty tough, and it doesn't seem like you can skip it. Yeah, there might be some sequences you might get a little angry at, but it's worth it. I think it's still a fun ride because of everything else, the visuals, and yes, the music. Oh, hail Mick Gordon, savior of DJ Ent, deliverer of ultra heavy beats. Yes, good God, the soundtrack in this game, it follows the theme, right? Everything's unrestrained now, and so the soundtrack is even more ridiculous. Can you imagine it? It's true. The soundtrack is just up more all the time. It's just more of everything. It's faster. There's more instrumentation, if you can imagine it. And it's just more intense because the combat is faster. So it fits. But I gotta be honest, with the music being more intense, the combat being more intense, there being more game mechanics, it just generally being way harder, more enemy types, more guns, like more everything. After some gameplay sessions, I would just feel kind of mentally exhausted. It was a lot to take in. That's been going away because I am learning the game and I'm getting better, I'm getting faster, but God, the experience kind of felt like some of the earlier days when I'd pick up a new fighting game and I would just get wrecked over and over and over again, and then I would slowly learn, and then sessions would stop being just like stimulating but frustrating and start to move into this new pasture where I find my rhythm and I find my flow and I find my way to play. I'm in that process right now, but man, it is a hill to climb, and it is mentally taxing, I'll be honest. So again, like, I really like this stuff, and even I was just like, gosh, I gotta take a little breather after that one. So again, you might find yourself in the same boat, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Just something to be aware of, and definitely something to look forward to if you really like that process in games. But what about the story? Why is Doomslayer killing demons? Well, he really hates demons, you see. And truly, that is all you really need to know. But for me, I actually really liked the lore of Doom 2016. So I was really looking forward to the story of Eternal. And again, it's just unrestrained is the word I keep coming back to. So 2016 had a really neat story kind of tucked away in the background. Kind of started with this sort of mundane presentation of you're an angry man and all these demons have popped out on Mars, so go kill them all. But by the end of 2016, you start to see these hints of a bigger world there, of these other civilizations, of the history of the Doomslayer, of the Night Sentinels, and whoever those are. So I was curious where Eternal would pick up from that, and apparently if Doom 2016 started here in sort of normal town and it ended up here in Crazy Town, Eternal starts right here and just keeps going. Because Doom Eternal picks up at demon mages and other realities, and it just goes off. It's out in space, and we've lost contact. Radio waves can't reach it anymore. It's out of here. I do respect, though, that Eternal does provide a lot of answers for a lot of the questions teed up in Doom 2016. I'm really happy with it, even if some of it did make me roll my eyes a little bit, but, you know, whatever. It's Doom. It's supposed to be kind of dumb, because it's about a guy who's really mad and he's got a shotgun. So, yeah, you know what? I didn't take it seriously, and the game didn't either, and I appreciate that. Plenty of lore there for my little lore ass to dig into. I liked it, but I'm not going to spoil any of it, so there you go. We can talk about it later. Alright, so you finished the campaign. It took me about 16 to 18 hours with some breaks in there, and that was on Ultra Violence, the second to hardest difficulty. What's left? Got some replayability? Well, you can go back into all the levels. They have fast travel now, so you don't have to play through the whole thing in one sequence just to find one secret. That's pretty cool. You can unlock stuff, skins, new mods, upgrade points, things like that. They have XP goals for weekly challenges that unlocks new skin and stuff for battle mode. Oh yeah, battle mode. The game has multiplayer. That's not part of this review because it wasn't functioning by the time this review came out. It will launch with the game, and since this is coming up before that, here we are. Battle mode sounds pretty cool, and I can tell you the idea behind it. So it's a 2v1 multiplayer mode. It's one Slayer versus 2 player-controlled demons. The Slayer has more health, more armor, more weapons. The Slayer is supposed to be all about skill, while the demons, who are weaker, have to use strategy and coordination to take the Slayer down. And the 2-player demons can spawn minions and try to send them out. I don't know, it almost kind of has Clash Royale vibes, maybe a little bit. There's loadouts, and you can equip your demons with different skills and abilities to try to find something that gels together. Could work. It might not. We don't know, but that's cool. So you can get skins for that. Neat. They also have master levels, which are remixes of existing levels, and they say they're going to add more campaign content. So really it is about digging in there, playing on harder difficulties, and getting better at the game. And with the skins and unlocks, they seem to provide enough of a framework to make you feel patted on the head for continuing to play. But really I'm just excited for new challenges and a higher skill cap, and that's pretty much why I'm really excited to play a lot more Doom Eternal. It's everything about Doom 2016 with the dead weight thrown off, and I didn't even think Doom 2016 had that much dead weight, but this game really showed that some very smart people can always find something to tighten up about game design. It's fast, it's lean, it's angry, and it's bafflingly nuanced. It's rare to have a game that can operate this fast. Like usually when you turn the speed up on an engine, it just breaks down, but this one can really hold up to some extremely fast play and some very smart decision making. I'm actually really excited to watch better players than me because I think they'll teach me something, and it's been a while since I've seen a single player game that works that way. Usually that's multiplayer stuff, so I'm really excited to start it up again. You can watch me do that on stream. I'll be playing it a lot in the near future. I'll be happy to answer any of your questions there or in the comments below. I'm astounded they made Doom Eternal so fast and ridiculous, but I am extremely happy they did it. Even if that's not the kind of game you're looking for, I think it's still an absurd ride that's worth taking. So it should have something for everybody unless you don't like 3D platforming. That may be the one thing that gets you. But hopefully you can call a friend over and have them do those sequences for you. Alright, that'll do it for me. Again, if you have questions, you can either hit me up on my stream or leave comments below. Thank you, Bethesda, for providing early access to this game, and thank you for watching. See you next time.